I am struggling to live for more than a day. By Hye Young. I was 19 and my brother was 25 when he disappeared out of thin air. There wasn't a trace of him until around 2 months after he disappeared. He was found in the backyard of a house around 300 feet from the hotel we lived in by 4 men. He was found with his legs and arms torn off and circled around his body to form a gory heart, with his head stuck in the gaping hole of his stomach and a smile on his face. My brother and I have always been close, and I truly loved him more than the rest of my family. Our father ran away when I was just 7 and was never heard from again, and due to the stress of having 2 kids to care for and working 2 jobs back to back, my mother was always a little too hard on us, which made my brother and I form a strong bond that lasted all of the way to his death. He has always been there for me no matter what, and when I found out that I had a bad liver at the age of 14, my doctor told me they had one available, but because we did not have any insurance, we would have to pay out of pocket. I knew we had 0 chance to come up with $577,000, so I started to give up hope. Little did I know that my brother worked his ass off to fundraise every single dollar and come into the hospital with the proud smile I loved, and after 6 days I was out of the hospital, supported by my loving brother. When my mother died, my brother took on 3 part-time jobs so we could live in a hotel and have food to eat. That is why when I found out how my brother was killed, I wanted to get my revenge on the asshole that took the only family I had. The police did not want to press charges on anyone until they had solid proof, but I knew that the house he was found at was the house of 4 men that he had always had problems with. Ever since we were in school, they kept tormenting us like the 4 assholes no one wants to live with. They got a house together so they could live jerking each other off. With the gun in our safe, I went to the house, knocked on the door, and when the 16-year-old brother of one of the men opened the door, I knocked him out with the butt of the gun, entered into the living room, and placed bullets in each of their pathetic heads. After I admired the sight of their blood and brain matter on the wall and back of the couch, I took my cell phone out and called the cops and reported my murder. I was charged the death sentence in court, and after a 2-year wait, I was put to death through lethal injection. Of course, I was sent to hell, but after walking towards the screams and wails from the fiery pit, I was stopped by an angel. He told me he had a deal for me. The deal is that I will be placed in a body to live out whatever amount of life they have left. If I die in one body, I will be placed in another body. The people are chosen through how suicidal they are, so whatever body I jump into, I will live with all of their depression and guilt. I don't know what happens to their soul, but I figure it is better than having to live with wanting to end your life constantly. The first body I go into is the body of a 36-year-old businessman. Immediately I'm hit with the guilt of killing my wife. The way I fold my fingers over her throat and watch the life drain slowly from her eyes. This just happened a little over 10 minutes ago, and I have a gun in my hand. With the guilt of bearing down on me, I place the gun in my mouth and squeeze the trigger. Before I know it, I am now in the body of a 27-year-old woman. I see myself coming into my house to find my best friend having sex with my father. I remember the way my mother was hanging from the ceiling fan after she heard from me how my dad cheated on her. I remember how my father killed my best friend and then himself 2 months after my mother killed herself. With a sigh, I place the rope down and try to go about living. I go outside and enjoy a cup of caramel mojito. I watched a movie and laughed at all the funny parts, but when I got back home, the depression hits full force once again, and I swallow a bottle of pills I use for my blood pressure. I find myself dreaming, and it is the most beautiful dream. I am in the body of a 19-year-old man, and he is running for the fields with the love of his life. We go to a beautiful field full of flowers and I pluck one out and place it behind her ear. We kiss and I tell her how much I truly love her. I wake up feeling refreshed and, to my horror, see my fiancée with her neck sliced open. The memory hit me of slicing her neck over an argument and then not wanting to believe what I did. I placed her on the bed and went to bed hoping it was all a dream. Now realizing what I did, I get hit with a feeling of both depression and guilt so hard that before I know it, I've sliced each wrist and placing them into rushing faucet water. With the next body, I write to you all before I kill myself once again. Please don't ever think you can justify killing anyone. No matter how right you think you are, please don't think you can ever pass judgment of this caliber. I sit here typing to you in the body of an 18-year-old male. I am the brother of one and the men I killed, and the first memory I received was cutting the arms and legs of my brother. I remember using a tiny pocket knife to slowly slice the neck of my brother until his screams ceased when I got halfway. I remember once I finished decapitating his head, I tore his stomach open and shoved his head in the hole I created. With my index and middle finger, I pulled each side of his lips up to form a smile. With his arms and legs, I formed a heart around his body. For the first time, I will end the life of my new body for the guilt and depression of both of our actions.